If you knew your time was up, what would you stand for? Commander Erwin might have some answers to that question. Let's check it out. Alright, so we are here about to react to one of the greatest anime moments ever. Also, one of the most iconic speeches of all time. Captain Commander Erwin's speech right before they ride to their death. Now first, if you have not seen Attack on Titan, you need to go check it out. That show will definitely change your life. It is goated. Please go watch it. I promise you, you won't regret it. Back to Erwin. These guys were staring death in the face, no other way out, and he just delivered on one of the most impactful speeches ever. So let's get into it.
There's no point standing around.
All these people just staring death in the face right now. Look.
Ready your horses on the double.
Peace.
Yes, we are.
With a straight face.
And since we're dying anyway, you're saying that it's better if we at least die fighting?
I am.
But wait, if we'll die anyway, then who cares?
That is true. Like, at that point in time, they could have all just been like, all right, well, it's over with, so what are we still listening to you for? But
and it wouldn't mean a thing, would it?
Yes, you're precisely right. Everything that you thought had meaning.
There we go,
every
Erwin.
hope, dream, or moment of happiness changes what a speeding rock does to a body.
Can we also take a second to acknowledge how when the Beast Titan came in for the first time, that was crazy, bro. And when he talked, and we was like, because we didn't know Titans could do that. But back to it.
Die. Does that mean that there was no point in our being born? Would you say that of our slain comrades? They were not!
There goes that
Their memory
conviction.
serves as an example to us all! The courageous fallen, the anguished fallen, death! We trust our successors to do the same for us!
Riled up, man.
Because my soldiers do not...
In the
my
face.
soldiers push forward!
Staring
My
death
soldiers
straight in
scream
the
out!
eyes.
My soldiers run!
Now, me personally, I know if I was there, I would have been like that guy asking questions. But after listening to that speech, I would have been probably the first or second horse right behind Erwin, just charging, ready to go. But we about to break it down, so let's go. So let's talk about it. That speech is iconic, and I know I keep reiterating that, but just the faith, the conviction, the self-doubt from the soldiers, and Erwin's talking to them, and he's just like, look, we are gonna die right now. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but to be able to convince a group of people to ride, not just ride, charge to certain death, and do it with faith, do it with hope, man, it was powerful, right? Like, I'm just trying to figure out how I would feel knowing that the only way out of a situation, because they were cornered, like they were done for, no other plan, no other way to go, but the only way to get out was to charge forward into death. One of the characters that Aaron was speaking to, he made a good point. He was like, if we're about to die, what are we still listening to you for? And then Erwin just kicks up into second gear. Man, he starts talking about the fallen comrades and, just because they died, their life still has meaning because they remember them, and because of their sacrifice, they were able to push forward to that moment. So now for their sacrifice, the next group of people are going to be trusted to push forward for them. Just entirely great anime moment, man. And then Erwin there, Erwin was a pretty composed character in the show. And one thing that was really powerful for me is that he was looking death in the face, fear, everything, and he's just taking all those emotions and still rowing through. My man's Erwin was a G, man. He's so tough, like one of my favorite characters of the show, and rightfully so. He went out just solid. Like, he was like, this is the only way we gotta get through this, we gonna get through this. And he gave that boy Levi he gave him one of the toughest missions ever, and I was to take down the Beast Titan, man. And you know, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but if you have, we already know he doesn't get to Zeke in that moment, but hey, he does eventually, right? And you know, Levi had that conviction too to like carry out that mission. And I think, you know, we can just take so much from those moments of like, life is short out here, right? In the grand scheme of things, we don't live for that long, but we can leave a real impact behind if we just remember the people that came before us and live a life that matters for the people coming up after us. Great scene. And now I came up with a little monologue inspired by the show, inspired by Commander Erwin. Check it out. Wait, you're telling me we are about to charge to our death? No, there's gotta be another way. I know we're cornered, and I know we're screwed. And you're right. Our fallen comrades are the reason why we have to do this. So this is really the end. This is really as far as we go. To all my brothers out here, to the future, push us forward. Don't let this sacrifice be for nothing. Like that Beast Titan over there. Oh man. How do we even get here? Well, I'm ready. At least this suffering comes to an end. I trust you, and I know if you say it, this is what we gotta do. Man. Holy crap. Alright. Here we go. Relating this anime moment to myself, one thing that I can really just speak about is finding something to do it for, right? When all hope is lost, you know, in this life we can struggle with taking action or, you know, being ambitious and fighting for our goals and doing the hard things. But I think if you find that thing to where you're gonna do it anyway, you know, you're gonna have that hope, that same conviction that Erwin had, you know, it can be God, it can be your family, it could be your wife, your kids, whoever. You know, we have to find that thing to where when the going gets tough, we don't stop. When we're looking a situation in the eye that just looks like the chances of coming out are slim to none, that we can still push forward. You know, we can feel the fear and do it anyway. And just with everything, man, that's what's kind of helped me, you know. I've had so many experiences in my life where I didn't know how things were going to work out, you know, but my faith in God and my faith in my art, you know, have just been some things that allowed me to just always push through. You know, why do I want to be in shape? Or why do I want to even shoot for the stars in this lifetime? And a lot of it has to do with, you know, the people that came before me. You know, they gave me an opportunity to do things, and I just think that it's really almost a spit in the face of me not taking advantage of my opportunities. And then I also want to leave a legacy for the people after me, right? You know, my kids, you know, and their kids, and, you know, the Addison name, and my last name is Addison, the Addison name, I want that to be remembered and for them to have good lives in the future. And one of the ways that we can push that forward is by taking that initiative now, right? Doing the hard things now, facing the hard emotions now, breaking the generational curses now, you know, dealing with all the problems that you've been avoiding now, so that the next generation, you know, can remember your legacy and push it even further, right? And that's one thing I just loved about what Erwin was saying, is he was just like, you know, in this moment, our lives aren't gonna matter. And to some degree, that was true. Like, they were riding to certain death. So a hopeless person would be like, okay, whatever, take me out. But, you know, he brought up all the people, because up until that point, you know, up until that battle, they were, you know, discovering new information about the Titans, and they were able to push to a certain level in history. But to get to that level, it took so many sacrifices and death and so much bloodshed, that he was like, we cannot let those people and what they've done for us just go to waste, right? So they didn't. You know, they walked out with courage. He created a final plan that ended up working and getting them the victory in the battle. Well, not victory, but getting them out of that situation that they're in. And man, just powerful stuff. So if there's one thing to take from this video, find that conviction, you know, put it into something, so that when you're doubting the situation, when the situation is hopeless, you can find that faith, you can feel that fear, and you can do it anyway. Shout out to my guy, Captain Erwin, man. See you soon.